guys! In this video I am going to show you how to make this super portable draining device. In my first video I showed you how to alter a feed bag to act as a drain bag. The unfortunate thing about drainage bags, even if you use the pre-made ones like the Pharaoh bags, is that they're not really so portable, and it's very difficult to manage with them if you have to go out in public, especially as an adult. Not so much for babies, because nobody's going to judge them, but most adults don't want to be walking around the world with big bag of stomach contents with them. So this little thing here, which is exactly what it looks like, that is a baby bottle, actually works really well. This is usually uses a J-tube extension that I have on here right now, the right angle port, but this will work with either the right angle or the bolus port, the bolus extensions, whatever floats your goat. As you can see, the tubing goes right into the bottle, and I have used this quite a bit. I've carried it in my purse. You just have to be really careful not to set your purse down and walk away from it or anything like that. Or you can use a separate bag. I have this cute one that somebody made for me that basically is just like a messenger bag, a little mini messenger bag. It is adjustable. The straps can go longer or shorter, and so when I put it on, it hits me at about probably a little bit above the knee. Your mileage may vary. It depends how high your tube is and how low your drainage has to be. But it works really well, and it's very easy to disguise. It's just another tube coming out, which if you're on continuous feeds, you're used to having anyway. And it's just a really great way to be able to vent when you're out in public and can't just, whip your tube out and start spraying stomach fluids all over the place. So now that you're sufficiently grossed out, I'm going to show you how to make this little thing here. And they're very easy to make and very cheap to make. The only problem with them really is that they need to be washed out really well after you use it, and you can only use this one for just so long, because the smell does get into the plastic. But the awesome part of this is that it's really cheap to replace, because they sell bottles at the Dollar Tree, and that's where I got this one and the one that I'm going to use to show you guys how to make this. Okay, so before you start, the supplies that you're going to need: you are going to need a spare bag. This will probably work the same exact way with a Joey bag, and I heard something about they're making all of the connections compatible with each other this year or something, so this will probably get even easier. You can use one that you've already used to feed. I'm going to use a new one because I'm making a video and I don't want it to be all gross with caked formula and stuff, but considering what it's used for at home, you can definitely just snip the end off of a bag that you're done using. Okay, so materials. The bag, obviously. You're going to need an extension if you use extensions. I have a Mickey GJ button, so I do use the extensions. If you have a longer GJ tube, you will probably still need some kind of extension to hook into it, just to make sure the line is long enough that you can actually put the drainage bottle into a bag or something like that. So the bag, the extension, a baby bottle, very cheap. This is a 250 milliliter or 9 ounce baby bottle. I got it at the Dollar Tree. Cost $1. They have all kinds of colors, and they're perfect for this purpose. I do like the ones that have the cap on them, because I actually lost the cap to the purple one, so I'll show you at the end of this video. But when you're not using it, when you're not hooked up to it, you can just pop this top right back onto it, and it won't leak all over the inside of your bag, which is a pretty important thing. You don't want that to happen. And then just a pair of scissors. That's literally all you need. The bag, the extension, the bottle, and scissors. And these things I get from Quorum, which is my home DME, medical equipment supply company, and dollar store. And if you don't have scissors, I'm a little bit worried about you. You should definitely go buy some scissors. So now I'm going to show you how to make this drainage bottle. Okay, so the first step is the bottle will usually come like this. Most of them do. Take the top off and set it aside. Don't get rid of it because you are going to want that later. Then you take the top off, and that's not supposed to happen. The whole nipple thing just fell apart here, but it's okay. It's okay. This is cool. This actually has a little disc in it so that you can just pop the disc in there, and it gives you extra protection when you're using it as a drain bottle to keep it from leaking. That's kind of cool. My other one didn't have this. They're two different style bottles, so that's why I don't know what's going on right now. Okay, so you want to start off with just the top of the nipple like this. Okay, and you're going to take the scissors, and it's going to be kind of hard to see this, but the way I'm going to do this is cut a very tiny little slit in the top. There's already a little hole for babies to drink out of, but you want a slightly bigger one. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a little bit bigger. You don't want it too big because then the rest of this isn't going to work. Okay, so now that we've made our hole in the top of our nipple, you can take your new or your old bag, and you want the connector end that you would usually stick in your J-tube or in your G-tube for feeding or whatever. And you kind of want to measure, I like to do it this way, give it a little bit of extra room so that it hits the bottom of the bottle. And you see how it's kind of at an angle at the bottom, because when this is finished, you really want the tubing inside to kind of curl at the bottom. And if that doesn't work for you, you can always trim extra off, but you can't glue it back on. So I like to go longer and then just kind of trim it down if I need to, if it doesn't work. So do that, and I also cut it at an angle, sort of. I don't know if you can see that. You know, sort of like a Slurpee straw. Now that I've just ruined Slurpees for everybody. So, okay, now you have this little tail piece from the feed bag. And this part is going to take a little bit of elbow grease. You want to put the tip inside the nipple, and you want to poke it through that hole that you made earlier. And this is why you didn't want to make the hole too big, because you want this to really stick in there and not slide around. So you want the hole to be just big enough to get the tip of it in, and then you can pull it through until it's nice and snug. I like to get it right under that second ridge there, and that you can see if I pull, that will pull the nipple out before it actually comes out itself. And so that's basically it. Then you put the nipple back on the bottle, and it looks a little freaky, but if you notice, it doesn't, the tubing inside, it's so hard to get without a glare on here. See, the tubing inside does not actually touch the bottom. That's why you want to go longer and then trim it if you need to, because you don't want it to be too short, and it won't drain properly. And that's basically it. The ones without the little protective cap that this one had, when you're not using it, particularly if you have something in it and you're not using it, you can just pop that back on and the nipple kind of collapses inside and keeps it from leaking. Obviously, if you have one like this one with the disc, you can mess around with it and take the nipple out and whatever if you want to, but that seems like a lot of work for no real good reason, because this is pretty airtight. This isn't gonna go anywhere. And then once you have your little bottle made, you know, plug yourself in to your G-tube where you're venting from. Make sure that the med port on your extension is closed, because otherwise you're going to have a big mess to clean up. And then this just pops right on there, and you have to make sure it's pretty snug so it doesn't disconnect inside your bag or whatever. And once you've done that, you're ready to go. I like to keep it disconnected and keep the cap on it even when there's nothing in it, until I need to use it. And then when I'm done using it, if I can empty it out and wash it out right away, then I will. And if I can't, then I put the cap on it and put it inside like a big Ziploc bag, and put it back in my bag until I get home. Definitely make sure to clean it as much as you can. And what will happen sometimes, because this is pretty airtight, is that if you have a lot of air that comes out of your G-port while you're draining, the air will fill up inside the bottle. So what you can do is, keeping it upright, you can even do this while it's actually in your bag, is just like with a bottle of soda that just came out of a vending machine. Loosen the top. You don't even have to take it off all the way. And once you loosen it, a lot of the air will come out. And if you can, you know, obviously dump out any liquids that are in it. And then put it right back on and go right back to venting. This also works if you need to refeed what you're draining out. That's not something that I've done, but I do know that a lot of children, especially, their parents are told that whatever they take out of the G-tube needs to be put back in, and this makes that a lot easier too, because basically, you know, you can make another tip or whatever and just kind of, and boom, right back into you, you know. I'm not going to do a video on that because I don't really know how that whole thing works, but I have seen that it is doable to refeed with this. So I hope that was a helpful video, especially for the adult tubies out there. Don't seem to be a lot of tutorials for us. And like I said, these little bags are like really simple to make. If you look, it's basically just 2 pieces of cloth sewn together and ribbon sewn to the side, a loop on one end and then just a long string on the other, and you can tie a slip knot and make it adjustable for however low you need it to hang for it to drain. And then you put the bottle right in there and boom, you're just carrying a little bag and nobody really knows what's in it. You can also, I found this was kind of cool, if you buy pillowcases or sheets or anything like that on their own, a lot of times they come with like a little bag around them. Sometimes they have an elastic top, sometimes they have a Velcro top. I found that these are perfect for that purpose too. You can just put the bottle in there and then pull the drawstring or let the elastic close or whatever, and then you can put this right into the purse or bag or backpack or whatever that you're already carrying, so you don't have to carry something extra. Anyway, I hope you found that really helpful, and check out the rest of my videos and tutorials on Tubi Life, and make sure to check out the Chronically Awesome website. Have a good one!